You guys know the drill at this point. Crazy season, don't know what's happening, can't predict any week. Let's just go into these picks. What's going on, guys? Dick's Report here, back with another video, and today we are talking about Week 11. This season just gets crazier and crazier by the week, and we'll see what Week 11 has in store for us. Our Thursday night game is a divisional matchup between Cincinnati and Baltimore. Both these teams, they lost last week. Cincinnati and Baltimore blew leads last year. Cincinnati against Houston, they came back, took the lead, and then only to fall at the end of the game. Baltimore, they blew two 14-point leads against Cleveland. Didn't have a single incompletion against Deshaun Watson in the second half. I don't even know how that's possible. Both of these teams, they kind of need this game right now. Baltimore, we've seen what's happened the last few years in the second half of the season. Not as good as the first. Can they break that trend? Cincinnati, meanwhile, if they lose this game, they fall to 500. Not a place you want to be with this conference this year. I'm going to go Cincinnati over Baltimore. I just can't trust Baltimore in the second half of the season right now. I just can't. Dallas taking on Carolina. Dallas, we know they're going to be in the playoffs. We know what they can do against teams like Carolina. But the big question is going to be what happens when they get into the playoffs and they face off against Philadelphia and San Francisco. Can they get over the hump? Meanwhile, for Carolina, they have a lot of growing to do. They do. They have a lot to do before they're ready to be competitive. Give me the Cowboys on this one. Pittsburgh taking on Cleveland. We know what happened in the first matchup. That was a very defensive-oriented game. Pittsburgh was able to come out with a victory in that one. Now Cleveland's going to be looking for some revenge. However, they will not have Deshaun Watson. He is done for the season. He has to have surgery on his shoulder. I don't know how he did what he did in the second half after we found out what happened, but he is not going to be available the rest of the season. Give me the Steelers on this one. Chicago taking on Detroit. Chicago, we'll see if Justin Fields is going to be able to play. We will see. We're not entirely sure. Maybe he's back, maybe he's not. We won't know until we know. Meanwhile, for Detroit, has been a consistent team throughout most of this season. They are definitely the favorites to win the NFC North, and they could make some noise come playoff time. Give me the Lions. Chargers taking on Green Bay. For the Chargers, this is a very up and down team. It's like at times they look like a playoff team, and then other times they look like they have no idea what they're doing. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, it has not been a kind season to them. First season without Aaron Rodgers. They've had some moments, but not enough. Give me the Chargers. Arizona taking on Houston. Houston is at 500. I will repeat that. Houston is at 500. Did any of us see this coming this point in the season? The Texans have 5 wins on the year. No one saw that coming. Arizona, they picked up a win last week with their first game with Kyler Murray back. Kyler Murray is back, led the Cardinals to a win last week. I don't think it's going to be 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go with Houston. Tennessee taking on Jacksonville. Tennessee's coming off a rough game last week against the Buccaneers. Jacksonville, they are winning the AFC South right now, but the Texans are coming right behind them. They got to keep it up. I say they get the win over the Titans. Raiders taking on the Dolphins. Dolphins, they are coming off a bye following the Germany loss to the Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they're coming off 2 straight wins. They have a new sign of life with their new head coach, Antonio Pierce. Can they make it 3 in a row? I don't think so. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Giants taking on the Commanders. Rough season for the Giants. I mean, anything that could go wrong has gone wrong for the Giants this year. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, Sam Howell has been impressive throughout this season. He really has been. He has shown that he can be a long-term starter for the Commanders at quarterback. I'm going to go with the Commanders over the Giants. Tampa Bay taking on the 49ers. Both these teams got back on track last week. Buccaneers, they dominated the Titans from start to finish, and so did the 49ers with Jacksonville on the road. 49ers able to bounce off those 3 straight losses, dominated against the Jaguars. I'm going with them over the Buccaneers. Jets taking on the Bills. Jets coming off a loss to the Raiders. Bills coming off a loss to the Broncos. These teams, if they want to get to the playoffs, they got to win this game. This is a must-win for both of these teams, or else they are in danger of not making the playoffs. And for the Bills, That would be extremely disappointing because we were having them as a Super Bowl contender when the season started. For the Jets, their defense has been good. The offense needs to pick it up. For the Bills, something has got to go on with these Bills. I don't know what's been going on. It's been inconsistency with this team. I'm going to go with them over the Jets. I say they get revenge for the Week 1 game, but for both of these teams, they've got to get some wins. Seattle taking on the Rams. For the Rams, they're just a hard team to figure out. At times, they look like they can make some noise. At other times, they don't look as good. I don't know what's going to happen with this team going forward. I really don't. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they are in the playoff race, and they're in contention to win the NFC West. They just got to keep winning games and hope some things go their way with the 49ers. For this game, give me the Seahawks. Minnesota taking on Denver. Two teams with new signs of life the last few weeks. For Minnesota, they lost Kirk Cousins, but Joshua Dobbs has stepped in and really helped this team out. Led them to 2 straight wins. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they're coming off 2 straight wins as well. Taking down the Bills in Monday night last week. You know what? This could be a very good game. I'm going to go with the Vikings over the Broncos for this one. And our Monday night matchup is a Super Bowl rematch. Philadelphia, KC. This is a must-watch game. These two teams, they are in contention to go back to the Super Bowl, and this may determine, as of right now, who the Super Bowl favorites should be, depending on what happens. Philadelphia, we know they're going to want revenge after what happened in that Super Bowl game. Had a somewhat controversial call at the end of it that prevented them from getting the ball back late in the game. Meanwhile, for KC, their defense has been much improved this year. Offense is slowly coming back, but you still feel like they have left some meat on the bone. You feel like they haven't had that we're here moment. Could that happen in this game? I don't know. For this game, I'm going with the home team, with the Chiefs. I say they pick up the win, and those are my picks for Week 11. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.